It just possibly can't get any crazier than this, dude. Like, just when you think it can't get any crazier than that, it just fucking can't. Cody, we've seen you upload these stories that are fucking so crazy. There can't possibly be any story that can top every single one, right? Right? I'm your host, xCodeh, and on today's life story commentary, we're gonna be tripping with Grandma. This story actually took place back when, I guess you could call it the most disappointing part of my life. I call it that for a couple reasons. It was actually when I was on probation, my probationary period after I got arrested for some weed. And it was actually the time period where I was smoking K2 with my friends. I have an entire commentary talking about this, and I strongly recommend, if you're interested in that stuff, I really recommend you watch a commentary. I'll have a card up in the top right. Just to summarize that entire commentary into one sentence, if you're too lazy to watch it, don't go out and do that shit. The story involved me and a friend, and it was probably the friend that I would smoke this stuff with the most, because he enjoyed it probably 50 times more than I did. He would always be down to chill after school and just do that every single day. So it was just a normal day of just after school going to his house and to go smoke this, and I had a little bit, and I remember packing it into this tin can because I don't know why. We never used to put it in glass. We always just to smoke it out of a tin can. I know. There's already a comment in the comment section about that, I guarantee it. And then there's the 0 to 60 sober to tripping fucking balls, horrible feeling. And me and him were just looking at each other, laughing hysterically. And it was a pretty nice day outside. I'll give you that. It was a pretty nice day out. So we were in his garage, and so we actually went outside, and we were sitting on his lawn. It was actually his backyard lawn. I definitely should have mentioned that. It makes a whole lot more sense. Then we proceeded to smoke even more of it, and at this point, I was in another world. I can't even begin to describe how strong and fucking horrible this shit is. Definitely the worst thing I've ever done. But I remember looking at my friend, and he just looked back at me, and we just started cracking up laughing, and then it went to us both freaking the fuck out and him needing water. So he just got up. At this point, I was just like, well, fuck, he's leaving me by myself. And I got all scared. This shit really fucks with your emotions. It really does. And I'm like, all right, dude. And then I remember looking up at the sky and just thinking about life, man. And just negative things. It was not fun. And then I hear him greet his great-grandmother. And then I hear the voices start to get louder. And I thought I was just hearing things or something. But then I see him and his 80-year-old great-grandmother coming around the corner and coming towards me with a chair, like an extra chair, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on right now? He brings her in the chair over to me, sits her in the chair next to me, and she sits down and she's like, oh, hey Cody, how's it going? And I'm like, hi. Because I'm sitting there fucking blasted out of my fucking mind, not even knowing how to make a complete sentence, let alone have a whole conversation with somebody. And she's sitting there, and she has this, really big, quilted blanket on her lap, and it's, all these different colors, and I'm staring at it, and it's just fucking moving and changing colors and stuff on me. It's scaring the shit out of me. And my buddy's just gone. He's like, all right, dude, be right back. And he just dips. He's completely gone, and I'm sitting there, and she's trying to have this conversation with me, and I'm sitting there, looking at her, not even knowing, what to do, what to say. And I literally remember not being able to think of anything to say, so I was just like, yeah, okay, yeah, to everything she said to me. So my buddy finally comes back after this long journey to go get water. He took an absurd amount of time, and it was just so awkward me sitting there with his fucking grandmother tripping balls on this stuff, and it took him so long that I was actually kind of sobering up, so I was actually being able to have a conversation. And when he got back, he literally had a fucking cup of water in his hand with a sliver of water in it. And he looks down at the glass as soon as he gets back, and he's like, oh, I'll be right back, man. I gotta go get water. And I was like, what the fuck, bro? And I got up, and I was like, dude. And I stopped him, and I was like, listen, man, listen. You can leave me here alone and go get water, but you can't leave me here on this shit, talking with your great-grandmother. She's 80 years old. I don't know what to say to her, man. And he was just like, all right, dude, all right. And then he came back, and he sat down, and I sat down, and him and her had this conversation that probably lasted a whole hour, and by the time the conversation really started, I started to sober up, and she started to talk to us. She looks at me, points at me, and then looks over to my friend and said, he was definitely high. And then my friend just cracks up, and me and him just start fucking bursting out laughing. I couldn't even control myself. I just thought it was the funniest thing at the time. And then she goes on to say, like, you know, she doesn't want us to be doing it at her house and stuff. And obviously we understood because, I don't know, I mean, she probably thought it was weed or something. But so after that, me and my buddy actually ended up leaving and continuing the rest of the day of nonsense. And I have to say, that was, like, one of the craziest times ever because, like, I couldn't even look at her in the face and say anything. I just was staring at the different colors on the blanket she was wearing. And I will say in this commentary, because whenever I talk about anything else than weed, I do have to say, I feel entitled to say this because I would never in my entire life want even one of you guys out there to go and try something like K2, fake weed, synthetic marijuana, because it is truly a really, really fucked up drug. In my eyes, and I know just because I'm about to say this, there's going to be a lot of people saying, oh, you know, it's not that bad. You know, listen, this is my belief. This isn't me saying I'm a doctor and I know I'm right. This is just a personal opinion. I think it's worse than some of the drugs out there like heroin and crack. So just seriously, don't even fuck with it. It definitely made for a crazy time. And oh my gosh, I'll never forget this. I will never forget this. And I'll absolutely never do this drug again. I'll tell you that for fucking one thing. Like I said, I strongly recommend you guys check out the commentary I made about this in this whole entire period of my life if you guys are interested in it. So I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and I hope you have fantastic rest of the day. And if you ever get lonely, or if you ever get sad about life, you can always remember, every time that you drop a like on an xCodeh video, you should expect a banana in your mailbox in 4 to 6 years. Stay high, stay lifted. Peace.